the game winner at the buzzer. You go on the road and someone lay an egg against a depleted Portland Trail Blazers team. So this is a huge game to come back home. You look at their schedule, they have some very winnable games here. So both teams are playing for something tonight.
So the Philadelphia 76ers played in Sacramento last night and won. The Los Angeles Clippers were in Portland last night. They lost. For the 76ers, this is the 5th of 6 consecutive games on the road with our officials tonight, McCutcheon, Poole, and Zach Zarba. And 2-2 so far, Doug Collins, for this Philadelphia team, which maybe, as Andre Iguodala said in the papers today, they might be finding some of their rhythm to their offense. You kind of alluded to it before, but maybe this will be the beginning of a turnaround in their season.
Yeah, I think Eddie Jordan's starting to figure out how to put these pieces together. This team, they have some talent. The pieces did just not fit here early. This is Marcus Camby stepping out on the floor and knocking down the jump shot. We'll have to watch that matchup. He's going to be chasing Thaddeus Young. They're going to try to pull him away from the basket. So we'll see if Thaddeus Young can use his speed against Marcus Camby's size.
And they missed some time with the hyperextended left knee. And outside, this is Lou Williams, who has put in a 3 right there. He's important for this ball club.
Well, coming off a big game, last 22 points, starting to get that shot back, coming back from that broken jaw.
Actually played a game with that jaw. Here is Chris Kaman. A lot of people think he's having an all-star caliber season so far for the Clips.
Well, he is, and probably would be a shoe-in if they were a better team. Normally, you're going to pick winning players, and unfortunately for Chris Kaman, this team is losing games right now, but he's definitely putting up all-star numbers with his points, his rebounding, having his best year as a pro.
Well, Coach, there's only 3 guys in the league that are averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds. As Baron Davis knocked down the 18-footer, Chris Bosh and Zach Randolph being the other 2. So he would definitely be in consideration to be making an all-star team if the Clippers were playing better.
This is his 7th season. We're speaking about Kaman. D'Alembert will go out and try to set a screen, and now they spin it around, and here is Allen Iverson. Had a good game last night. And inside for D'Alembert with a good-looking assist by Allen Iverson.
That's a great play by Allen Iverson. He creates so much attention out there, and when that happens, these other guys get a chance to get open. With Sam D'Alembert, I've always felt with big guys, get them a dunk early, and they're going to shot block and rebound and set screens for you all night long. Reggie, you've been there before.
That's a good point. Iverson will command a lot of attention.
There's 1 shot block. There's 2. I tell you, get him a dunk, get him a couple block shots. Keep feeding the big fella.
That's what he's averaging a game is D'Alembert, who is 8th in block shots, and the other way come the Clippers. Baron Davis, bad knee off, finding Kaman, and there's been a nice chemistry between Baron Davis and Kaman of late.
Well, the Clippers giving the Sixers a taste of their own medicine, getting the ball off the glass and trying to run and get an easy bucket.
And D'Alembert with that screen on Davis. The missed shot by Allen Iverson and a quick foul with 9:36 to play. And Baron Davis picks up his first for Los Angeles.
Well, Allen Iverson playing in a very good rhythm for his team. You see there as Kaman steps up to try to guard against the penetration. Sam D'Alembert goes right to the rim, the easy finish. And those are the kind of plays that Allen Iverson has made the last couple games. He's really injected this team with a lot of energy, a lot of life. We'll see Elton Brand later. I think these 2 guys starting to give the 76ers the feeling that they're a pretty good team and they can start winning basketball games.
You take a look at Iverson. He's 34 years of age. The doctors have said 28 to 30 minutes. This is something we'll talk about later tonight. But as we open up the can on this particular subject, this is a guy that probably needs to realize that less minutes means better play, more play.
Well, less will mean more with Allen Iverson on this team, just for the simple fact the older you get, wear and tear on your body. Now, I understand pride comes into it. Your body feels, your mind feels it should play 35 to 38 minutes, but your body won't let you. And you look at the Boston Celtics right now. Look at some of those superstars that are starting to break down. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. So AI, as he comes up with the steal, has to understand less will be more for this team.
And tried to feed inside to Young, who was trailing on the play. Iverson playing with an arthritic left knee, and so he had missed 4 games in a row. Back for his 2nd straight. Kaman inside against D'Alembert. Walters the shot and does a nice job.
Well, Chris Kaman actually wants to play with his left hand around the rim, and this is the key to the game right here. You see the speed of the 76ers. This is when they're at their best. They've gone back to a small lineup. They're starting 1 big with Sam D'Alembert. They've moved Thaddeus Young to the 4, Iguodala to the 3. This is when they're at their best. It's when they played their best last year, when their defense creates offense.
Camby sneaks a pass inside to Kaman. So the big man feeding the big man inside.
Well, he plays with his left hand around the basket, and D'Alembert knows that. He's blocked a couple shots, but Kaman is a guy who loves to get off to a big start. He starts the first quarters. He averages almost 7 points a game in the first quarter, which is his most productive quarter of the game.
Allen Iverson is getting so much attention coming off those pick and rolls, Coach.
And so Young had that shot there. Here's Eric Gordon. He is a blossoming star in this league, the former Big Ten Freshman of the Year, led the conference in scoring, a high draft pick by this Los Angeles Clipper team. Doug, you've labeled him a wild card.
Yeah, he's my wild card. Now, I said to me, Baron Davis is the barometer. When he plays well, they very seldom lose. The same thing with Eric Gordon. So when those two guards are playing well, the Clippers have a great chance to beat anybody.
Gordon's got a nice stout feel about his play as well. And here he comes once again. He had Iverson backpedaling.
Well, what you want in the fast break opportunities, if you're Gordon, put the pressure on Allen Iverson. He's not been great in transition defense. You got to put the pressure.
Here's Iguodala. Look at him take it inside. He has really become more of a jump shooter of late that did not hit the rim, so it's a shot clock violation. But his game seems to be evolving. Talking about Andre Iguodala, who in the last couple years, inside slashing, getting points. Now he's moving his game out a little bit more.
Well, he's been playing more of a two-guard. Now he's sliding back to that small forward. He's had 2 terrific games, 18 assists, only 1 turnover the last 2 games, really moving the ball. When he gets in the open court and gets in the paint, that's when he's at his best. 41% of his points last year came in the paint.
Great feed. This time Kaman puts it in the hands of Camby inside.
And that's all because of the Baron Davis mid-post right there. He's going to have to, the Clippers are going to have to, the Sixers are going to have to double team him. Good find there by Davis to look over the top.
We watch the Sixers also too. Eddie Jordan's really simplified his offense. His Princeton offense, Iverson on the drive, finding D'Alembert once again. Very simple now that they're running this Princeton offense. Reggie, you know, you played against it. It's a very complicated offense. It's tough to teach and tough to learn. It takes time, and I think the Sixers here now settling into a more of a rhythm because they've really simplified this offense.
Iverson's already got a couple of assists. This is Iguodala outside. D'Alembert has 4 so far for Philadelphia. And the other way comes Baron Davis. Works on Lou Williams. And a turnover right there. And turnovers are a problem.
Well, when you turn the ball over against Philadelphia, that one doesn't hurt you as much because that's a dead ball turnover. If they get over 8 steals a game, they get in the open court. In that area tonight, fast break points and points off turnover is going to be really, really key if the Sixers want to win this game tonight.
Iverson got the matchup against Kaman. That is what Iverson has done his entire career. I mean, that body, just think of the wear and tear on Allen Iverson's body. As small as he is, as light as he is, he's crashed to the floor hundreds of times.
And that's when we're talking about less could be more for Allen Iverson. You think about all the times, and we talk about Dwayne Wade going to the floor and getting beat down when he's going to the basket. This guy is probably the toughest guy under 6 feet probably ever in this game.
Well, one thing Allen Iverson brings this team, as well as a lot of things, is the ability to get to the free throw line. You see decade leaders, most points out, Kobe Bryant, Nowitzki, Allen Iverson third. But Allen Iverson, what he'll do, he'll get you in the penalty early. And when you shoot free throws, you get back, you get your defense set. And the Sixers have not been to the line as much this year. Iguodala's numbers are down at the free throw line, but Iverson now getting to that position and getting to the foul line will also help his team in that area.
Good point. He's 5 of 5 already, Doug, in this game. Davis finds Kaman, then it was knocked away by those quick Sixer hands inside the congested lane. A 3-on-2. Iguodala finding Thaddeus Young.
When you turn the ball over against the Sixers, it's a layup. It reminds me so much of when Eddie Jordan was coaching New Jersey. And it was Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, Richard Jefferson, and Kenyon Martin. I always felt like that was a sprint medley relay team. This Philadelphia team, as it's constructed now, 1 big, 4 smalls, gets out and runs. This one, they're at their best. They're on a 6-0 run. Points off turnovers once again for Philadelphia. And Thaddeus Young with a powerful finish.
So we're in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. 6:15 in the first on New Year's Eve.
Search for a car at Autotrader.com and we'll send you the largest selection of cars anywhere. So you can narrow it down by model, color, and price. That way you always find exactly what you want. Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace.
Of all the holidays, this is the season of sharing.
Yay on TNT, brought to you by Hyundai, where this year you can fill your commute with comfort and joy during Hyundai holidays. By Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Orbitz. Visit Orbitz.com today and save. And by the new T-Mobile MyTouch 3G. 100% you, only from T-Mobile.
And we're back in Los Angeles. Doug, why don't you begin with our keys tonight? The Clippers against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well, transition game really favors the 76ers. Fast break points, Sixers second in the league in that number. They are fourth in steals, so points off turnovers, we'll have to watch that. The Clippers are the best in the league in defending against the fast break, only give up about 11 a game. In the guard matchup, I talked about the wild card. Eric Gordon, 19.6 points in the win. Allen Iverson, 19.5 points the last 2 games. And you throw Lou Williams in there as well. He had 22 last night. And Baron Davis being the barometer. So that's going to be key to that guard matchup and who wins this game tonight.
And all about the bench points as well, Coach. Even though we haven't seen Elton Brand yet, settled into that role off the bench, 16 points, shooting 57%. The Clippers bench has been outscored 14 of their last 16 games. And how about, let's try to close out 2009, finishing the game strong. Philly, 15 losses this year by 8 points or less, and for the Clippers, 5 blown leads going into the 4th.
Left-hand move right there by Chris Kaman inside. He's out of Central Michigan. Iverson the other way, met by the defense of Baron Davis. Iverson already has gone 5 of 5 from the free throw line. That's something he did so well in his prime. Little pick and roll with Dalembert with a nice drive inside.
See how they've simplified their offense, though? You're not seeing all the cutting and passing and moving, and what you're seeing is more the pick and roll, quick hitting plays, and this is when the Sixers really are at their best.
Dalembert with 6 points already, and Iverson with 3 assists.
And he's gotten layups, and Dalembert gotten off to a great start. Let's see if he can put his defense. That's his 3rd block shot now on Kaman.
Look at the quick turnover when you get the Williams with the nice finish right there. Block shot leads to easy baskets at the other end.
See, a block shot is almost like a steal. You keep the ball in play like that. Bill Russell was the master of that. You get a deflection, you're in the open court. It's tough to get back defensively because the Clippers don't have that kind of speed.
Williams now with 5 for Philadelphia.
Tell you what, if I'm Eddie Jordan, I'm trying to get Dalembert some easy looks early to get him that active at the defensive end all the time.
I played with Daryl Dawkins. I tried to get him a dunk every time. The first time he came in the game, Daryl would set the best screens the rest of the night. Get him a couple dunks, and he was a happy man.
Feed the monster down low.
I got to take care of Daryl. He set all kinds of screens for me.
Baron Davis has picked up his 2nd personal foul, and this will send Lou Williams to the free throw line. Here's a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. NBA TV tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern. The New York Knicks will be down in Atlanta. Fan Night NBA TV. Log on to NBA.com/NBA TV and vote for the game you want to watch Tuesday, January 5th. Voting ends at midnight Eastern. Then ESPN Wednesday, January 6th, 10:30 Eastern Time, as the Los Angeles Lakers will take on the Los Angeles Clippers. That'll be a game right here at the Staples Center. 11-0 run right now for Philadelphia. They come in 9-22, but they've won 2 straight games, a road record of 5-12. Philadelphia has really not cashed in as at home, only 4-10 with the home record back in Pennsylvania. This is Camby from outside. He brings out Young, and Camby with some nice range.
He loves that little set shot. He shot that same shot in Denver, and I'd say Marcus Camby is such a terrific player. His rebounding, his shot blocking. He was a godsend here. When Elton Brand went to the 76ers, they were able to pick up Camby from Denver, and he's really solidified that front line.
Rasul Butler just banged into Iguodala, who will be at the line. The Clippers getting their first points moments ago on that Camby shot in over 3 minutes, and Butler picks up, Reggie, his first personal foul tonight.
Don't want to foul jump shooters in that situation right there. Iguodala, even though most of his points this year have come from the outside, this is a guy who's really attacked the paint the last year, but if you look at the percentages, he's shooting more threes and more mid-range shots.
Yeah, and his points in the paint are down from 41% last year to 33% this year, and you can see what it's done to his shooting percentage. These guys, Thaddeus Young and Iguodala, have not got the high percentage shot they got last year, so you see their numbers are down, team shooting is down, but you're starting to see it pick up. And you know, in fairness to Eddie Jordan, and I've been in this situation before, you go in to coach a team and you have this grand scheme and plan about what you want to put in. And Reggie, until you're with the team about 20 games, you're not really sure what you have. Then you throw in the injury to Lou Williams and to Spates, and now he's just getting his team healthy. You add Allen Iverson, and things are starting to look up for the 76ers.
That's just good coaching. That's adapting to what you've got. As Sebastian Telfair has come in for the first time for the Los Angeles Clippers, taking the place of Baron Davis, who's got 2 fouls, and Kaman takes his 8th shot of the game with a nice rebound inside by Thaddeus Young.
And Sam Dellenberg's done a nice job. He's contested most every shot.
Iguodala, Iverson, late close right there by Rasul Butler. So Allen Iverson has played 8 minutes. He's got 7 points and 4 assists so far.
Well, there's a better pep to this Sixers team the last 2 ball games. And I don't know if it's all been done at the defensive end, but the ball is movement. You've got very active at the defensive end, and they're getting out and running.
We should mention tonight that Mike Dunleavy, the normal head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers for the last 7 years, threw out his back at practice today. Here is an Iguodala 3 over Butler with a rebound fought for between Kaman and Dallenberg. It'll go back to the Los Angeles Clippers. And Tony Brown, longtime assistant in the NBA, has taken his place. He played for 9 teams in 7 years. Went to the University of Arkansas. Former assistant with Portland, Detroit, Toronto, and Boston. This is the 3rd time he's taken over as a head coach. And 1 time for Larry Krystkowiak up in Milwaukee. As Elton Brand has just come in the game, and this, of course, is the first time he's been in front of the Clipper crowd since he left and signed the big-time contract with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, you hear the boos for Elton Brand. When he played here, he was a terrific player, all-star, took this team to the playoffs.
Drew Holiday is also in the game now for Philadelphia. So Holiday, Brand, Iguodala in the contest. Dallenberg remains in the game, and Lou Williams, and a quick timeout will be taken with 2:59 to play. The foul goes on Sebastian Telfair for the first time.
And Blake, just looking at your workouts, and first of all, obvious question is, how's your leg feeling, and what exactly are you able to do so far?
It feels a lot better. I'm kind of in the process of doing more and more each day, so every day it changes depending on how it feels.
Baron Davis said that the best advice that he tried to give you was you have to be patient. What are you using this time as far as a process when you prepare yourself to get back?
You know, like he said, I'm trying to be patient and use this time as a time to learn and a time to, you know, watch other guys and, you know, make sure I'm ready when I am coming back.
All right, thanks for your time. Guys?
All right, Geraldine, thank you very much. Just under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter, and the free throw cavalcade continues for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now they are 9 of 10 to not a single free throw attempt yet by the Clippers.
You know, Kevin, along the lines of Blake Griffin, I got hurt when I was a rookie, and Gene Shue gave me the best advice that he could have given me. He said, you know, you start getting a book on these players that you're going to be playing against next year. Everybody's got a strength, everybody's got a weakness, and watch the game, and you can learn so much. And here's a steal by Elton Brand. Easy finish, but I learned so much. Almost a little bit like a quarterback who gets drafted in the NFL and he sits for a couple years, and how much you can learn before you get thrown out there. And I know you have to play, but just because you're hurt doesn't mean you can't keep learning this game. And I think Blake Griffin will pick up a lot sitting over there.
By the way, 2 notable guys that did that: Carson Palmer with the Cincinnati Bengals, and the late Steve McNair down in Houston, and later on Tennessee. There's a nice shot. And that's the first 2 now for Al Thornton, who used to start, now comes off the bench as he continues to get his game in shape.
Well, Coach, I like the approach that the Clippers are taking with Blake Griffin. You really don't want to rush this kid. If he's going to be the face of your franchise, why thrust him out there and maybe further injure himself? Bring him along slow. As you said, he gets a chance to develop and look at the league at a whole, and you see the talent that Blake has. It'll be there, but you just can't rush him.
And plus also, let's face it, even if he comes back, chances of this team being a playoff team are very slim. So don't rush him back. I mean, I think Utah's in the 8th spot right now. I mean, but the Clippers are not going to pass the Utah Jazz probably. So I mean, be very smart, take your time. And yes, it's tough to sit over there and watch, but when you come back, you want to be healthy and ready to play. You don't want to get hurt again and be sitting back down.
Young kid, Doug, he's had already a couple major injuries in his career.
That's a concern. He got hurt at Oklahoma. I think he hurt his shoulder in preseason in the summer league as Telfair knocks down the 3. But you know, make sure get yourself healthy. And one of the things that's his strength is the fact that he's such a hard worker and he's such a competitor. But that also can be your weakness if you're not careful.
DeAndre Jordan, by the way, had a terrific-looking assist in there. He is a second-year player out of Texas A&M for the Los Angeles Clippers. We've got 1:33 to play. There is Jordan, who actually started a game the other night for the injured Marcus Camby.
He's got talent.
Yes.
There's no question. He just got to keep maturing. And you can say that about a lot of young big guys, especially in this league. A lot of growth in that paint that you really have to learn to play the game.
Sixers have led by as many as 13. Clippers had an early lead of 2. Nice looking sweet shot outside with 10 points now in the first quarter. Lou Williams, he is really picking it up.
Nice up and under there by Lou Williams right there to get the defender. Go for the shot fake. Gordon pulls the trigger on a three-pointer himself.
Reese Speights is also coming for the Sixers. Out there with Williams. Iguodala with the ball right now. Drew Holiday, who is a rookie out of UCLA. Here is Elton Brand. That mid-range shot is a good one. Camby collects the miss.
You can see what's happening when Elton Brand comes in a big game. They're going to him. And he's almost getting a point a minute now that he's playing off that bench, which really has solidified that bench and made the Sixers a much deeper team.
And facing second-string talent on the other end. And Gordon stepped out of bounds right in front of his own bench. So he takes on a completely different look defensively when he's got the ball against a second unit.
No question. And they're going to go to he and Speights. The last time these two guys played against the Clippers, they combined for 42 points.
Yes.
So, I mean, and Speights had 28, which was his career high. So, believe me, the scouting report on the 76ers when these two guys are coming in the game is they have to do a job on them.
Coach, you have an all-star coming off the bench in Elton Brand as too. So it's something Eddie Jordan can put his hat on, that he can throw the ball down to an all-star who's going to get him a good position down low, can rebound and block shots as well.
Two-time all-star Elton Brand out of Duke. He was the college basketball player of the year, the ACC player of the year in Duke. Here's Thornton. Over Speights. Look at Jordan inside, working hard. DeAndre Jordan, little-known player, terrific high school basketball player. He was recruited to Texas A&M by Billy Gillespie. Then he left for...
First quarter, I should say. It's normally tough on back-to-backs. You got to be pleased with your team's energy right now.
Yeah, I like the way we're playing. We're pushing the ball. We're getting stops. Samuel's doing a great job one-on-one with Kaman. If we can stay out of double teams in the post, that'd be great for us. Barron got 2 quick fouls, so that helped us.
Talk about the way that you guys are taking advantage of the turnovers. It's really sped up this game.
Well, we're a team that likes to get deflections, turn people over. We have to use our quickness because we're a little small, a little light in the can. And when we get turnovers, we want to run. And with Samuel doing a great job one-on-one, it allows us to be out in the passing lane.
Be the big man.
All right.
And who doesn't want to be light in the can? Doug, we have a very interesting matchup tonight. Philadelphia, the #2 fast break team in the NBA, against the best team in the league and defending the fast break, the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers give up just a little over 10 a game in the fast break. They give up 10 in that first quarter. So the statistics point to the 76ers getting their tempo. And the Clippers are going to have to do a much better job in their transition defense. Just to follow up what Eddie Jordan said, 3 of 12 for Kaman in that first quarter. Sam Delaware had 5 block shots.
Artie Collins has come in for the Los Angeles Clippers. There's a little rotating move here by Thornton, who's out there with Sebastian Telfair. And the Clippers have also brought out Brian Skinner. Maurice Speights picks up his first personal foul. Chris Kaman remains as a centerpiece for that Clipper team, so that's the Clipper 5, and they'll inbound across the way.
Yeah, and Speights doesn't need to go down and double team Thornton with Iguodala down there guarding him as Thornton comes up with the offensive foul.
And Speights out there, Doug, along with Brand. Allen Iverson back. He played about 9 minutes in that first quarter. They've also got Iguodala and Drew Holiday. That foul goes on Sebastian Telfair for the second time.
Well, I think it's important for Speights and Elton Brand not to let Kaman get started. Sam Delaware did a great job, and Kaman has a tendency, he's really a thinker out there, and he really, if he gets struggling a little bit, it affects his play. He's going to have to keep taking those shots he took early.
Jordan was defending Speights on that particular play. And here comes Telfair. You wonder, too, where the defense is going to be. When they bring in Speights and Brand, it's a lot of offense on the floor.
Well, it's less running, and you see what Jordan's trying to do, get the ball down low. Telfair, a nice crossover, gets into the paint, loses the ball, but comes up with the handle to put it in. What Jordan's trying to do is get the ball down low to Speights or to Elton Brand. It's different from that Princeton offense, Coach. I always wondered why the crowd booed every time I got the ball. Like that was really going to affect me while I was playing.
How about that nice move across the lane by Andre Iguodala?
Well, that's the best of Andre Iguodala right there. Face up, drive that ball to the basket, finish beautifully. That's when he's at his all-star best.
That's his first field goal tonight. Telfair. Marty Collins, number 1 pick by New York a couple years ago. Came in trying to pass out of the double team. That has been an issue for him. It's off of Iguodala. But when he gets in that double team and they begin to come in and choke him on offense, that's an issue.
Well, you're also getting ready to see this man, Andre Iguodala, almost came up with that steal. But, you know, Coach talked about slashing, cutting, getting to the paint. He's at his best when he's in the open court or when he has a chance to attack the defender and get into the paint.
Yep. 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. The Clipper bench, by the way, and Doug, I know you're keeping track of that. 9-2 lead quickly in this game as Iverson picks up his first personal foul.
Well, what I'm looking at also too is the good job that Andre Iguodala is doing as a playmaker. In the 2 games that I spoke of, the last 2 games on the road, he had 18 assists, only 1 turnover. Tonight already 4 assists and no turnover, so 22 assists, only 1 turnover in the last 2+ games. And I think what you see also too, his playmaking is better from the small forward position because he has a speed advantage over that guy. When you move into the 2 spot, you know, Reggie, a lot of people think that 2 and 3 spot is interchangeable.
No,
it is not. I mean, it's a big difference. And Iguodala is really thriving back at his natural small forward position over the last 2+ games.
Those are the first free throws tried by the Clippers tonight. They've made 1, 10 points at the line so far for Philadelphia. Iverson to Brand. Allen Iverson comes up with his 5th assist of the night.
Pick and roll situation again. Allen Iverson comes off. 2 guys jumped on him. Wide open Elton Brand rolling to the basket.
Brand's got 4. Telfair finds Jordan inside, and that was a foul called on the Philadelphia 76ers with 9:35 to play. Spates picks up number 2.
Yeah, this is one of those hybrid pick and rolls. It's almost like a dribble handoff, and Allen Iverson just takes 2 defenders with him. See a nice little dribble handoff, couple steps.
You see, Reggie, that's where DeAndre Jordan, he's got to get over
come
there.
over.
I mean,
He's gotta
slowing
rotate
his
over.
rotation, and that's one thing that keeps him from playing the minutes. It has nothing to do with his ability, but he's got to recognize things quicker. He's not a very good free throw shooter, but defensively, if you're going to be a shot blocker, you've got to be 1 step ahead.
A story about life on the other side of the middle. Don't miss Ray Romano and an all-new Man of a Certain Age. It comes your way Monday at 10, 9 Central, only on TNT. You have some decent shooting from the field tonight. The Clippers at 52% to start this game, 50%, 12 of 24 for the Philadelphia 76ers. Here comes Holiday, number 1 high school basketball player in the country 2 years ago, played at UCLA last year, left after his freshman year. He has an older brother, Justin, up at the University of Washington.
And I coached his father at Arizona
Did you?
State.
Really?
I sure
Did
did.
you
I
really?
sure did.
Well, you recruited Reggie when he was coming out of Los Angeles.
Let's not get started about this Reggie
circle.
Miller stuff, okay? I don't want, that's a sore spot with me, all right?
Here's Telfair. But you were his second choice. Is it, we say that?
That's sort of the story of my life.
It was
Coach.
that close. The Zap Band, and who else was at that concert you took me to, Coach? Zap Band and
I did my best.
Roger Zap.
I did my best, and none of it worked.
He came close, but
Reggie
pulled the plug on him.
Reggie's father Saul looked at me and said, "No chance.
I'm not going to Arizona
no chance."
State." That's the second foul called on Iverson, and the first foul called on Elton Brand. So 2 quick ones on the Philadelphia 76ers. But Chris Kaman at the free throw line for Los Angeles. I got to ask you guys, because to someone who has not played like myself, on paper, when I look at these 2 teams on paper, I see teams that should be better than one team 13 and 18, the Clippers. The other one, Doug, 9 and 22, Philadelphia.
Well, the Clippers, for some reason, I don't know what it is. I watch them play, and they'll play. And like tonight, they get off to a slow start. And now they're going to play themselves back. But they go through periods of time where they play terrific basketball, and then all of a sudden the ball starts sticking, and guys start getting a little selfish, start looking for their own numbers, and they go through these droughts. They lose big leads. For the 76ers, I just think it was, they lost Andre Miller, new pieces, new coach. They've had some injuries. They're starting to get a good feel about themselves and starting to play much better basketball.
Well, I'm a little disappointed in the Sixers, just for the simple fact, in the East, if you look at their records and you look at the talent that's on this team,